friends, welcome to this again, Chintan के साथ, and today we are going to discuss a new topic for IELTS Stars 2. So let's start the same. But before discussing the same, I would like to request you to go through the videos of IELTS vocabulary playlist, in which I have discussed 100 words with meaning and with sentences. So I can guarantee you that if you really go through this all these videos and if you learn these 100 words, then definitely your level of vocabulary will be increased. And in addition to that, I also prefer to go through one video daily so that you can understand the meaning of the words. You can also understand how the word can be utilized in your day-to-day communication, and if possible, then try to create sentences in comments sections of each video so that further we can verify the same. Okay. So if you feel them correct, then please try and use them. Now let's come back to today's topic. So if I talk about, or if I read out the statement which is in front of you, then the topic is something like this. Some people believe that modern technology is increasing gap between rich and poor, okay, while others disagree. It means some set of people believes that due to modern technology, the rich becomes more richer and the poor becomes more poor, right? While other people believes that it is not the case. We need to discuss both the views and we need to give our opinion. So that is what the statement of the essay. Now, as I always prefer, we can use four paragraph patterns for this essay. The first one will be your introduction. The second paragraph, the body paragraph number one, will target the first view in which some people believe that due to this modern technology, the gap is increased. The second body paragraph will mention the second view of people in which they believe that due to this modern technology, the gap is increased because they are disagree. And the last one will be your conclusion, right? So in this way, we can develop this particular essay. So let's start discussing first of all introduction paragraph for this particular statement. For writing introduction, friends, there are two activities which are quite important. The first activity is to find out keyword, and the second activity is to write thesis statement. So without wasting any time, let's start keyword hunting for this particular statement. As you can see, friends, if I talk about the keyword, okay, the central idea of this statement, then it is the uses of modern technology. Modern technology means latest equipments used in industries, internet, online platforms, okay, latest healthcare diagnosis procedures. All those things can be considered as a modern technology. Okay, do not limit your thinking for modern technology up to internet only. Okay, modern technology means everything. Okay, all the automated tools and all those things can be considered as a modern technology. So that is what the central idea of the statement, and this is what the keyword of this particular statement. Now, by using this particular keyword, we can write 2 to 3 sentences in your introduction paragraph. Okay, generalized sentences we can write. What kind of sentences we can write, that you are going to see in a minute in the next slide, in which the entire introduction paragraph I am going to share with you. But now it's time to discuss thesis statement for this particular statement, right? So let's do the same. As you can see, friends, but in this particular essay, okay, basically we need to write the advantages and disadvantages of modern technology from the perspective of from the perspective of their gap, right? It means uh, the poor becomes more poor and the rich becomes more richer. It means like how modern technology increase the gap between poor and rich, whether it increase the gap or whether it decrease the gap. Okay, so if I talk about the basic definition of the thesis statement, then thesis statement is a kind of statement by which you are communicating with your examiner that I am going to write this and this thing in my further essay. And if I talk about this essay, then we are going to write advantages, or what I can say in first paragraph, probably we are going to discuss disadvantages and advantages of modern technology from the perspective of increasing or decreasing gap between poor and rich in the society. Okay, it means that if I talk about the general idea of my thesis statement, it is something like that, that although there are disadvantages of this modern technology for the society, in my opinion there are certain advantages if modern technology is used in a proper way. This is my very simple idea of the thesis statement. But if I try to use certain if I try to use certain advanced vocabulary, then how my thesis statement can be? So it becomes something like this. Although many people believes that these developments means these modern technologies are responsible for augmenting means increasing the gap in society, it means although there are certain disadvantages, I opine that if technology is exploited means used, is if technology is used in an appropriate way, it can alleviate means solve snacks of inequality. Snacks means problem, right? So in that way, by this particular statement, you are saying to your examiner that you are going to discuss disadvantages of this modern technology in your body paragraph number 1 and advantages of this modern technology in your body paragraph number 2. Okay, and in that way you are going to develop your essay, right? So this is how we can write. These are the points by using which we can develop our introduction paragraph. Now it's time to see how our introduction paragraph can be developed by using these points. So let's see the same in next slide. Now it's time to discuss body paragraph number 1, in which we are going to discuss first view of this statement, in which some people believe that modern technology can increase the gap between rich and poor. It means basically we need to describe the disadvantages of this modern technology on society, on increasing the gap between poor and rich. Okay, so I have write down here two broad points. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's start discussing body paragraph number 1. Let's start with point number 1, friends. Okay, let me give you, I am going to explain you these 2 points from the perspective of two different things. The first point is somehow relevant with the industry, and the second point is somehow relevant with the healthcare domain. So if I talk about from the perspective of industries, okay, nowadays what happened, most of the industry prefers to use latest technology and automation for production of their products. Okay, it means in industry the usage of latest technology is being increased. Due to this particular kind of thing, the requirement of human resources is somehow decreased. Okay, and due to that particular thing, there is a possibility, or there is a kind of environment, okay, in which so many jobs has been lost by the people. Okay, and just because of this reason, okay, just because of this more uses of technology in industry, people start losing their jobs, and just because of that reason, the gap between poor and rich people is increased. And that's why you can consider this point in your body paragraph number 1, right? Now let's come to second point. And in second point, I am considering the case of healthcare domain, right? Let's say, for example, if I talk about the healthcare domain, then there are so many advanced medicines are available, so many operation procedures has been introduced, but the cost of each and every, like every this, each and everything is quite high, right? And just because of that reason, like rich people can afford this kind of latest technology in healthcare domain, but the same case is not true for the poor people. And just because of that reason, like whenever this kind of technologies are being utilized by the poor people, their all savings will be used up. And just because of that reason, in a longer run, the gap between poor and rich people will be increased. Okay, so this is another broad reason or broad point, according to me, which we can include our body paragraph number one, supporting the view that modern technology can increase the gap between rich and poor. Okay, so these are the 2 points. Now it's time to see how we can develop our body paragraph number one by using these two broad points. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's see the same in next slide. Now, friends, it's time to discuss body paragraph number two, in which we are going to discuss how modern technology can decrease the gap between poor and rich. It means ultimately we are going to discuss advantages of modern technology due to which the gap between rich and poor can decrease. So let's go with the first point. According to me, like internet can be considered as a modern technology, right? Which was not the case like before a couple of like decades, or before I would say 15 to 20 years, that was not the case. Okay, so with internet, okay, poor students or the students who belongs to poor family, they can learn so many job relevant skills, they can learn so many business relevant skills without any, without spending too much money. Okay, and just because of that reason, like by learning those skills, they can earn, like they can get proper jobs and they can earn proper money, and in this way the gap between poor and rich can be decreased. And just because of that reason, this can be considered as an advantage, and this point supports the view that by using internet, the gap between poor, and by using modern technology, the gap between poor and rich can be decreased. This is the first point. Now the second point, if I talk about, then it is somehow relevant with the farming. If I talk about the scenario of before 20 years or 15 years ago, right? Then, like at that time, farmers were not that much educated, and at that time, the latest technologies and latest equipments were not present. And owing to that reason, it was quite difficult task for farmers to maintain the quality and quantity of their crops. But nowadays, so many products, so many equipments are available in the market with with proper cost or with appropriate cost, which can be utilized by farmer. Okay, it means farmers can also utilize modern technology to increase their quality and quantity of crops, and in that way they can earn more money, and the gap between rich and poor can be decreased. So that is the second point which you can include in your body paragraph number two, supporting the view that modern technology can decrease the gap between rich and poor. Now the third point. Third point is somehow relevant with the small scale businessman. In the days of modern technology, okay, this businessman can sell their products online, and their customer base can be increased. In that way, they can earn more money, okay, and by having more money, the gap between rich and poor can be decreased. Okay, that is the third point. And the fourth and most important point, according to me, that would be sharing of knowledge by expert of different fields to poor people or to the segment of society, okay, um, to the segment of society for which sometimes it becomes difficult to reach out. Okay, so in this fourth point I would like to say that experts of different fields can utilize the medium of internet to share their experience, to share their knowledge to each and every individual of different of different areas. And just because of this sharing of this knowledge, people of each segment of society can learn so many things, and that learning can be utilized to earn money, to change their lifestyle, and in that way the gap between rich and poor can be decreased. And just because of that reason, you can also include this point in your body paragraph number 2. Now it's time to see how these 4 points can be converted into your body paragraph number 2. So without wasting any time, let's see the same. Now it's time to discuss the conclusion for given scenario. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's see conclusion. As I always said, friends, the whenever you have to write any conclusion for given topic, always try to ask who and what for the given topic. Who means who can do something for handling the scenario or for handling the given scenario, and what can be done, okay, by them. That would be your conclusion. So if I talk about the current scenario or the current topic, then the scenario is something about uses of modern technology, right? And who can do something for using this modern technology properly? The answer of who, I think, would be government can do something, okay, and people themselves can do something to handle this scenario. And what can be done? What can be done? The answer of what would be like, uh, they can work together, okay, to solve out the problems of these things and to maximize the benefit of this particular thing. So that is the general idea of your conclusion. Okay, now if I read out the conclusion which I have written by using some advanced vocabulary, then it would be something like this. To conclude, despite having few drawbacks of modern advancement, the incumbent means the existing government and people, can rub shoulders with each other. Rub shoulders with each other means they can work with each other, right? To mitigate means solve problems of inequality in society by using latest technology. It means the answer of who would be government and people, and what, the answer of what would be they can work together to solve this problem and maximize the advantage of this modern technology for decreasing the gap between rich and poor. So friends, this is the conclusion, and these are the all. This is the explanation of all the points supporting for the given topic. I hope friends you like this explanation, and if you like this explanation, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any other points in your mind for body paragraph number 1 and body paragraph number 2, then feel free to add them in comment section so that we can discuss this topic in a more comprehensive way. Now it's time to see entire essay slide by slide. So let's see the same. We will meet next weekend. Till then, be happy, be safe. Bye bye.